Flathead Lake, Montana is the largest natural lake in the great state of Montana, and it is home to one of the most dramatic ecological disasters in modern history. Hello everyone and welcome to Uncharted Insights, where today we will be exploring a lake where the introduction of a single tiny shrimp led to the total collapse of an entire ecosystem. This is the story of how a tiny shrimp ruined everything. Back in the mid-1900s, Flathead Lake was a paradise for anglers. One of the biggest attractions, Kokanee salmon, a landlocked species of sockeye salmon that made huge runs up the streams every year. These fish weren't just fun to catch, they were a crucial part of the ecosystem, feeding bald eagles, grizzly bears, and thousands of other animals that depended on their yearly migration. But wildlife wasn't the only thing that loved Kokanee. Fishermen did too. And naturally, when people enjoy something, we try to make more of it, which is exactly where things went wrong. In the 1960s and 70s, biologists had a great idea, or at least they thought it was great. They wanted to boost Kokanee salmon populations by introducing a new food source into the lake. They introduced an atomic bomb. If the bomb were filled with small shrimp, these little guys were already thriving in other lakes, so the thinking was that more shrimp would provide more food for the Kokanee, which means the Kokanee population would increase, making fishermen happy fishermen. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. See, here's the thing they didn't realize. Mysis shrimp aren't just floating around all day waiting to be eaten, they're nocturnal. During the day, they hide in deep, dark water where Kokanee salmon can't reach them. And at night, instead of being a food source for salmon, they actually compete with them for food, devouring the tiny zooplankton that Kokanee need to survive. The result? Instead of feeding Kokanee, the shrimp fed another fish. I like to refer to them as the freshwater North American great white. At the lake trout. Lake trout are deep-water ambush predators, exactly the kind of fish that love this new shrimp buffet. So, with an unlimited food supply, lake trout numbers exploded. And guess what lake trout love to eat? That's right, Kokanee salmon. So now, the Kokanee were starving and getting eaten alive. By the late 1980s, Kokanee salmon in Flathead Lake were completely extinct. And just like that, one of the most popular fisheries in Montana was tragically gone. But this wasn't just bad for fishermen, the entire ecosystem collapsed. Cutthroat and bull trout populations in Flathead Lake began to plummet significantly in the 1980s and 1990s due to the rise of invasive lake trout. Today, lake trout dominate Flathead Lake, and wildlife managers have been desperately trying to get rid of them. They've introduced commercial fishing programs. They've offered bounties on lake trout. They've tried everything short of sending them a strongly worded eviction notice. But nothing has worked because once again humans messed with nature, and nature messed back. And the craziest part? This isn't the only time this has happened. The Great Lakes had a similar disaster with lake trout, invasive alewives, and the failed introduction of Pacific salmon. Yellowstone Lake is still fighting a lake trout invasion that nearly wiped out its native cutthroat trout, and in lake after lake, humans have learned the same painful lesson: you can't out-engineer nature. So the next time someone suggests fixing a fishery by introducing a new species, maybe just, don't. If you liked this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.